a proud former kindergarten teacher. And I am joined today by two members of our team. Wave to us, Kamal. And Natalie, who's supporting right now with some tech issues, as well as two former Metis fellows, Rukia and Lillian. And today we are really excited to get to share about the Metis experience with you as Chris fellow, and be able to answer any questions that you may have regarding the fellowship and the fourth cohort. Applications are now open and will be open until the 20th. So welcome again. We're so glad you're here. If at any point you have any questions, feel free to use the chat function. And I'm gonna hand it over now to Rukia just to quickly introduce herself.
Thank you, Rebecca. Good evening, everyone. Great to see you today. So as Rebecca said, my name is Rukia Sebit, and I'm the co-founder of Sunflower Trust. So Sunflower deals with improving literacy among the vulnerable children within different communities. And my journey at Metis began in 2019, where I was a fellow, second cohort, which of course it took 6 months, and it was an impressive journey. So today I will take you through how the whole fellowship was, and of course how it benefited Sunflower as an organization. Thank you, Rebecca.
My name is Lillian Wamoyo, a proud cohort 2 Metis fellow, and I work with Bridge International Academies in Kenya.
Hi everyone, my name is Kamal Kamau. I'll be the moderator for this meeting. I'm currently the communications lead at Metis. So in case of any questions, kindly unmute your microphone. I'll give you the platform. Ask as many questions as you want. We are here for you. We're here to answer them in the best way possible. Hoping to see you in the next cohort 4. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Naftali Moroki. I am the partnerships and programs lead at Metis, and we are very excited to have you guys here today. And yeah, shoot all the questions. We are ready to answer. To address all the concerns, to make sure that you guys are ready. You're prepared to join us in this amazing journey of transforming education in Kenya. So, karibuni sana.
And hopefully we'll be joined by Oroch, who was also a cohort 2 fellow. Until then, I think we will just allow our two lady alum share more about their journeys. And I think we'll think about how we are both individually and collectively redefining education. As we know, the CS has closed schools for the rest of the year, and business cannot continue as usual. So we are looking to educational visionaries and disruptors to really pave the way forward to make sure that kids are safe and learning. And the aim of the fellowship is to connect exceptional Kenyan education leaders from all parts of the sector, whether you are in government, whether you are in the nonprofit arena, or whether you are in a for-profit ed company. We support leaders with ideas for how to transform education and provide them with the tools, resources, and community they need to make those ideas come to life. So let's hear a little bit about the journey. Rukia, we'll start with you. Can you just share one of your favorite experiences as a fellow, favorite memories?
Yes. Thank you, Rebecca. The 6 months at Metis has been a wonderful. The whole period was just interesting. And one of my favorite moments were actually the exchange visits that we had. So we had, every month we visited different project activities run by either Metis fellows or just, people within the education space. And that was amazing because we actually learned hands-on, and you being an educator, you get to, borrow some learning from one organization and also bringing materials. So, just having those exchange visits, asking questions on the ground and actually seeing how the real classrooms are, if it's not a profit organization, how do they actually benefit.
Here, let me interrupt you. We have a concern about your audio. Yeah. Can you kindly fix it so that everyone can hear you?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Still a bit low.
Because I'm not on.
Yeah,
I'm not even
you're
on.
good now. You're good now.
How is it now? It's okay. So I go again. Okay. So yeah, the 6 months at Metis was awesome. It was an awesome experience, and my most favorite or the best moment was actually having those exchange visits. Every month we will visit different projects, school, or just implementing projects, but projects that actually work with the education sector. And that was the key learning point for most of us, including myself. And because you actually get to interact and ask questions that probably was a difficult task for you on your side. So that was the most impressive moments. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. So she's speaking to one of our core components once a month in our community of learning. We embark on site visits and have guest speakers as well. And so for this iteration of the Metis Fellowship, given COVID, we are doing virtual site visits. And so today, actually, the team was on site working to film a site visit and doing interviews. So in cohort 4, we will still be doing site visits, and you will be able to watch them all and learn at your own pace. Thanks so much for sharing, Rukia. Lillian, can you share a favorite experience or a favorite memory specifically from your time as a fellow?
I have several favorites, so I'm struggling to pull down a few, yeah? But one is when I applied for cohort 1, I failed. So my favorite moment was when I applied for cohort 2 and I was picked. I was like, boom, it was, after failing and then you're getting it. So it was one of the moments that I'll never forget. And then the retreat to me was really impactful because one, it gave me an environment to reflect. Many are times when you're busy with work, you're in Nairobi, things are very busy, but the retreat, the environment was very serene. And apart from the environment, also the team leads, the facilitators, they guided me to reflect on my bold idea. Experts were brought in to, to help me come up with my bio, to build my bold idea. So by the time I was leaving the retreat, I knew exactly what I want to do in the education field and what I want to do for my community. So those were my two favorites, but I have several I can continue, but those two are my killer.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Lillian. So you mentioned your bold idea. In the application, this cohort, we ask everyone to share either an idea or a bold question. In this time of COVID and so many uncertainties, we really need to be leaning into these big questions. Can you each share with us what your bold question was, Rukia?
Okay, so the bold idea, this is a question that you work through the whole 6 months, and by the end of the 6 months, I'd say you actually get to know how you will implement that idea. So mine was looking at Sunflower being a slightly new organization. We were in existence for just 1.5 years. And we never had a proper direction, though we were existing. And so the bold idea was to get the stakeholders to buy into our strategic plan making process, because we were just, taking that step of developing a strategic plan. Well, I'd say Metis came in at a very good time, because it helped me by the end of the 6 months, though we never had a strategic plan, but through the coaches that you were linked to, those were our mentors, I managed to come up with a 3-year milestone for Sunflower, which is a bit flexible that even a strategic plan, because we get to review it every year, and get to improve it every year. So for me, the bold idea was, to come up with that strategic plan. Where do we want to see where are we seeing ourselves in the next 3 years? So apart from the coaches, our mentors that Metis linked me to, who are very hands-on, we will talk and they will actually come to the ground, take me through a new startup, because Sunflower is basically a startup. There were also the Metis fellows who had that experience and will actually walk me through, this is the easiest way, don't complicate things, because this is a startup, and at the end of the 6 months, I'm proud to say that we had our 3-year milestone that we are currently implementing, that also, it's a very simple and clear guideline that all our staff members are now implementing. So that's the bold idea that I had. Thank you, Rebecca.
Awesome, Rukia. And so you told us the pathway to that, though. Like, why does Sunflower exist? Like, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Maybe you can give our listeners a sense of that.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Sunflower exists to improve the literacy levels among the low academic performing children within the community. So we are targeting not the top 5s, but the bottom 5s in any classroom to improve their literacy levels, which later also inculcates to them improving their academic grades. So we work with a few private informal schools within Kibera. And of course, at a time like this, COVID, when schools are shut, the kids that we target are the most vulnerable, because if you don't push them, they just don't like books and they don't want to be anywhere with close to books. So during this period, we've also partnered with Metis to develop the offline home learning resources, where now the children actually take the hard copies at home for revision, and we've continued that since April until now, and it's working wonders, because it's a way of keeping the kids engaged to books and also academic activities as much as they're not in classroom. So that's why we are there. Yeah.
Hey. Lillian, what was your bold idea? And then we'll go to Cliff, who has also joined us. Lillian, take it away.
Thank you. So I had a passion of working with girls. So through Metis, I was able to come out with my bold idea, which is to build, to build a national movement of girls that leverages on storytelling. And this is to ensure that girls have safe communities and safe spaces where they can thrive. So that was my bold idea. And I'm happy today to say that it's working. It's work in progress.
We can't wait to hear your updates. Let's hear from Cliff, though. Karibu, Cliff.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So,
we're glad to see you. Can you just introduce yourself and then share your bold idea with us?
Okay, fine. My name is Clifford Lodge, and I wear 2 hats, mainly head teacher of, let's say, a prep school, usual, traditional, normal schooling. And then on the side, I run an outfit called Homeless of Nairobi, whereby I also run an informal schooling setup called Shule Mtaani, which is a space for street boys who don't want to go to school or don't want to go to any formal institution. So we do offer them a space where we bring specialists, experts to work with them. We actually bring the school to them. Instead of taking them to the school, we bring the school to them. Yeah. So that's my basic introduction. My bold idea was to involve the community around the street boys into getting more involved, more actively involved in the running of the programs that we have, because the community has been very kind of detached. We have the religious congregation movements, we have the police stations, we have the business communities. I mean, we have all these people who are surrounded with the street kids, and then it's like we were not actually connecting. So one of the things that we did was to take deep sea slums in High Ridge Parklands as our model into seeing how the community could get actively involved. So we managed, through the Metis journey, I managed to conceive this idea of starting a children's club so as to stop the children from going to the streets, and so as, should I say, to get to the root cause of the problem, instead of getting to the bottom of the end of the problem. And that was actually, should I say, motivated by one of those quotations that were put during the retreat, the one by Desmond Tutu, kind of, right? Instead of just asking yourself why guys are falling into the river, can you go and find out the source of why they're falling into the river? So as an organization, we got to the bottom of the problem and said, if we stop the children from going to the streets, then we'll reduce the number of street children. And how do the kids get to the streets? The kids, they get to the streets because they're hungry, they don't have food in their house. So if we start a feeding program around the slums, the schools in the slums, and also the club. So we started a club, and the club became a very interesting one because the club was run by youth from the slums, some of them secondary school students, some of them teenage mothers who have dropped out of school. So they were our mentors and they were our teachers. The kitchen and the, should I say, the cleanliness of the place was run by our own former street boys. So we had this ecosystem whereby former street boys and current students, all of them chipping in together and come up with one community in deep sea slums, and eventually have like a whole community of about 350 people. So that's my journey.
Amazing, so inspiring. So the way the fellowship works is that you come with an idea or a question. If you're Lillian, who was like, I work at a network of affordable private schools, but I really want to, how do I create safe spaces for girls? Or Cliff, how do I ensure whole community engagement that is providing wraparound support for our homeless youth? Right now, for this cohort, we are looking for innovators who have questions around the use of technology for education, or questions around how do we build life skills and resilience. So there are going to be two tracks. Either your idea and question have to revolve around tech, or life skills and resilience building. And this, of course, we find is particularly important now, given the crisis that we find ourselves in. So you come, you have these questions, you might have some ideas, and our fellowship then provides 4 key components. And I think maybe Kamal can maybe share his screen that has a visual of these 4 components. As he shares this, I will go through them. The first is the curriculum. So we have a design thinking curriculum that over the course of the fellowship supports you to strengthen your idea. So the first C is curriculum. Then, of
Can everyone see?
course, hopefully. If not, we will also be sharing all of these resources, and they'll be on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. But the 4 C's are community of learning, curriculum that I just mentioned, coaching, and curated connections. So we have this curriculum. The second important thing is this community of learning. And I think our fellows mentioned how important the retreat was. It not only builds bonds of trust and connection, but it's about really focusing on, you know, what is it that you are going to achieve. So you'll set your KPIs for the fellowship during this time. You'll write your bio, and you'll really be set on this journey. And then over the course of the next month, so this cohort runs from August through December, you will be a part of this rich community of learning. Again, we'll have asynchronous opportunities for learning, so virtual site visits, things for you to watch, read, and do. And then at the end of the month, we'll come together on community Zoom calls, and we'll be able to solidify our learnings and share and support each other. So that's the community piece. Another core element of our programming is coaching. We know anyone who is excellent at what they do has a coach. And so we provide you with coaches tailored to meet your needs. We have a network of over 65 coaches across the globe, from India to South Africa to here in Kenya. And you are matched with 3 to 5 of them based on your needs to really support you along this journey. And then finally, we provide curated connections. We've sent some of our fellows to South Africa to conferences. We provide other thought leadership opportunities for capital and talent to really, again, all in the name of growing the support you garner and grow your impact. So those are the 4 components of the Metis Fellowship. And again, everything is towards really supporting you to make your innovation come to life and to really grow your impact and sphere of influence. So enough from me. Now that we've heard from our fellows what their bold ideas were, I would love to circle back. And Rukia, thank you very much, Kamal, for sharing that. You can not screen share, so we'll go back to our speakers. We know what your bold questions were. Rukia, what did you do about it, and what is the impact that you have had at Sunflower?
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca, for that. So right now, we're already in year 1 to implementing our 3-year milestones. And so far, I'd say there's so much that has improved at Sunflower, because year 1 was all about, to come up with small policies that will make the organization exist, like coming up with a child protection policy, because we are actually working with children. So last year we never had a child protection policy. So here we're already developing one, developing and monitoring and evaluation tool that we are also currently developing. But most importantly was how to work with more schools and actually take our after school program to schools. So February this year, we managed to get into partnership with 7 other schools. Initially we started with 5 schools, that's the private informal schools within Kibera community. But this year we added 7 more schools. So our target was to reach out to 140 more girls, but then COVID happened. So this is still shelved, But hopefully in January, we will resume with now implementing the after school program in schools. Yeah.
So, Lillian and Cliff, I invite you to share. How have you answered the bold question that Go ahead, Lillian.
Lillian, kindly, you're on mute.
Sorry for that. So it's exactly a year since we graduated from Metis, and I'm happy to say my bold idea was to build a national club for girls that leverages on storytelling. Today, some of our achievements are we have been able to train 12 matrons. Those are 7 teachers and 5 parents who work in these clubs. We have been able to set up 7 girls clubs. 5 of the clubs are in the bridge schools, and 1 of the club is in a government school, that's a public school, and 1 in a community-based school. We have also been able to issue more than 200 girls reusable kits. And when I talk about a kit, they have the reusable sanitary pad, a soap, a face towel. And we have also been able to reach and do storytelling and just do guidance to more than 400 girls. And it's amazing that during this COVID time, despite all the restrictions and all the, all the strains that everyone is facing, we managed to reach out to 40 girls, gave them guidance, and above all, they were issued with sanitary towels. So I think that's the amazing, and that's the power of working in a, in a support community like Metis. Thank you.
So Cliff, you told us a little bit about your solution, but how many youth are you impacting? Tell us.
Well, it depends on how you want to define the term youth, whether they're the youth who are the mentors at the program, or the youth who are the former street, kind of. But in total, we are looking at close to 100 youth in one way or the other. And just part of the community, should I say, involvement was job placement or apprenticeship, which is something that we found out much later that the former street guys were getting bored with just lessons and should I say, mentorship and that kind of thing. So we thought that getting them into the job market as apprentices, kind of would actually jumpstart some of their working career. And so we got 10 people, 10 of the former street guys, placements in jobs. 4 of them dropped out, so we were left with 6. And then COVID happened, and I think 4 of them were retrenched or kind of stopped. But now I'm happy to say that they've resumed working. And they're very, very excited. So there's still the aspect of, yes, they're working, they're employed, but there's a challenge of that quite a number of them have got very, very low, almost 0 literacy and numeracy skills. So again, the lessons have to continue. The secondary school students and the teenage mothers who are helping out with Shule Mtaani, with the Children's Club, we already had a program for them, April, August, and December holidays, where they could be placed in certain supermarkets, hospitals, pharmacies, and all those kind of places. And then COVID happened. So nobody's willing to really move in that direction. But again, slowly I've started talks with the supermarkets. The hospitals is a no-go zone now. So back to supermarkets and to see if we can get them working now that they're out of school until January. So it will give us an opportunity for them to A, earn something, B, to get their minds into kind of that job market and meet different people who are going to impact them. So that is what the journey has been for the last 1 year since leaving Metis. And I'm happy to say that each time I go to the slums, the kids asking when are we going to resume the club. I feel sorry for this, but we've actually thought of starting small, in a small way, at least with the book clubs, and see if we can get like 5 to 10 kids every 1 hour, share stories, read books, and just generally don't forget or don't stop the action of learning. So that's where we are. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Continued learning is, I think probably an area of concern for everyone on this call and everyone who's interested in the fellowship. And I think, as each of our previous fellows have shared, they've really had to iterate and shift, as I'm sure each of you have had to shift your approaches. Before we open it up just to questions to folks and to answer some of the questions that were posed in the registration forms, I'm wondering if each of you could share about one way that Metis has helped you to iterate or has helped you to really improve and grow your impact.
Mm-hmm. Ladies first.
Yeah, Rukia, Lillian, and then Cliff.
Okay, I'll go first. I think one way that Metis has really helped Sunflower achieve whatever that we are doing right now is the linkage that we've gotten from Metis, because right now we have a very supportive donor, and that's thanks to Metis that we actually connected through Metis, that they're funding us right now, and the funding will continue for the next 2-3 years, depending on how we perform. But that is just one way, as of a support that one can actually get from Metis. Though as it is right now, I think Metis came in while Sunflower was in a point of, we don't really know if we are moving forward or we want to actually drop the whole organization, but it made us believe that we are needed and we actually can survive and exist through the partnerships, because right now another thing is also through Metis, we have the beneficiaries have mentors from Nova Pioneer. So Sunflower is working with Nova Pioneer secondary girls to mentor the primary school girls on not only education, but just life skills, which is a great deal. Like, to the parents and to our beneficiary, that's a great deal. So yeah, for me, Metis has, it has really held our hands in many ways. Thank you.
So one of the ways that Metis has been of great help to me, Metis provoked me to come up with a bold idea. It's not easy. And again, apart from coming up with it, implementing it. I think that's amazing. The second thing is connection, and Ruki has talked about it. Like for me, I got 6 mentors, and they were from within Kenya and outside. So they also supported me in my journey with implementation and coming up with my bold idea. And these are experts, people who are good in the girl empowerment field. Another thing that they have also given me is the community. Metis, we are a big community. Like today, I have friends in cohort 1, cohort 2, cohort 3, and now this is a family that is expanding, and we are welcoming new cohort 4 now to join. So such connections are really rare. And when you're in Metis, you get to, you're just exposed to them, and these are experts like now Clifford, Rukia, you know, this is a great team. We are one family. So it's a family that continues growing, and also it grows you. So that's one help that I've gotten from Metis, and I really appreciate.
Thanks for that. Now that the ladies have said everything, why don't you just wrap it up? I mean, when we started with the retreat, for me, the shocking thing is that you had like, I think 17 fellows, 17 different people, you know, kind of, and very brilliant in whatever they're doing. There's no person who you could say is less than the other one, you know, kind of very unique, you know, from tech, like Richard, from to education, like Shayu, to girl empowerment. I mean, there was just this richness of, it's like a buffet, you know, kind of, you don't know what to choose. And every time someone opens their mouth, it's like, wow, you know, kind of great ideas, provocative, you know, kind of. I think at the end of the 3 days, it was like a rebirth, because for some of us, we had become very stale in our careers, just the routine of doing the same thing over and over again. But the moment for me, I joined Metis for the next, all those 6 months, you know, kind of, it was just this richness of bubbling ideas. Each time we went to a different place. You went to Soya's school in the Vale, you know, kind of, you just get different ideas, you know, kind of, you go to Buruburu. Each time there's a COP, you just live there feeling as if you've been born again, you know, kind of, you fresh ideas. You're so charged, you know, kind of, right? So to me, that was the biggest impact that Metis had first on me as a person. It was just like that connection with all these group of brilliant individuals, you know, kind of. And then later on, of course, we connected with cohort 1. And then when we were interviewing cohort 3 again, it was back to the same thing. It's like you have all these people, you know, kind of, you know, coming up with different ways of impacting, you know, kind of. And I kept on asking Rebecca that all the time, the solutions to Kenya's education problems, even to global problems, are actually here. They're here, you know, kind of. This community has all those solutions. We might not have the political might and will, but in terms of ideas, in terms of policies, in terms of programs, you know, kind of, we have it. If you're talking about the slums, we have people who are working in the slums. If you're talking about the girl empowerment, you talk about boys empowerment. If you're talking about whatever you're talking about, you know, kind of special needs, you know, kind of, they're there. So we have a representation of all the society that you can think of, you know, kind of, right? And that is what, for me, I got from Metis, you know, connection, networking, and should I say just disruptors, pure disruptors. Each time someone is talking, you're thinking of, okay, that's fresh, that's different, you know, kind of, right? That to me has been the biggest impact. And of course, now transmitting it to the next, to our clients or to our subjects or the people who we are dealing with, has been brilliant. And visiting each other's programs and projects also, so that we are aware of what is happening. That connection was just, is still, to me, very, very key and crucial. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rukia, Lily, and Cliff, for sharing your experiences. We just want to open it up now to you all. Either feel free to come off mute and share vocally, or write in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or here in Zoom, and we'll have Kamal read some of them out. We have a comment from Immaculate, who is the principal at McKinney Schools. She says, and she was a cohort 3 fellow, she says, Metis continues to provide opportunities for capacity building in courses even after the Metis cycle. For example, I've enrolled in an NGO fundraising course courtesy of Metis. Yes, that's a really good point. The fellowship itself, cohort 4, is going to be a rapid fire one for our COVID disruptors. It will be 5 months long, but ongoing support will last a lifetime. Really good point. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, so questions, comments. We don't have any coming in fresh. Kamal, feel free to read some out from the registration forms.
So, hi everyone, to everyone who came in late, my name is Kamal, Metis Communications Lead. As you can see, I'm in total darkness, but we move. So, kindly allow me to mute off my video for a while, but I'll forward all the questions you guys have posed, because we have tons of them, because it was a requirement when you're registering for the meeting. So let's go. One of the most asked questions firstly was, what is Metis and what requirements do I need to join Metis? Lights are back. KPLC had my light. Yeah, that was the most common question. What is Metis and what do I need to be part of the Metis collective?
Amazing. So, well, actually, I'll open up to the fellows. What is Metis to you in a sentence? Lillian, what is Metis to you?
Metis is a game changer in the education circle. It's where you connect, it's where you get a community, and it's where you're able to do things that you're not able, like you're provoked to awaken the giant that is sleeping inside of you.
Love that. Rukia or Cliff, anything to add?
Just to add, Metis is a community of educators, because most of us think, most of the time educators are just teachers, but it brings you close to other people working in the education sector in one way or another. And, you get to learn from them. You also get to share your experience, because, yeah, everyone has something to share, and we also learn every day. So if you're that kind of person who is looking for learning and also want to share, then Metis is the place for you.
Okay, there's a Kenyan proverb that says that every village has a mad person, right? every market has a mad person. So to me, it's a market, kind of, and then we're just the mad people. It's as simple as that. Right?
I love it. Oh my
Madness
gosh.
and madness, and it's a space just to come and exercise your madness. Thank you.
I love that. It's true. We are the mad ones, I think, who really are saying enough is enough. The majority of youth in our country, right, are multiple years behind where they should be in terms of math and literacy, let alone have the skills that they need to make the world a better place for themselves and for all of us. So, we are the mad people disrupting that. In terms of what you need in order to be a fellow, you need to be a Kenyan education leader. Again, you could be, we have folks in every cohort who are from government, so KICD, Ministry of Education, TSC, etc., who are from civil society, so like Rukia and Cliff each have founded NGOs and nonprofits, or are from the private sector. So Lillian is part of a network of private schools. We have people who are part of EdTech ventures, and we also welcome people from academia. So part of why Metis exists is that we see so many people so siloed, doing their own thing. Actually, to Cliff's point, we really know that there is a lot of wisdom in the proverbial room. And so if we want to see that collective impact, our hypothesis is that we have to support collective learning and learning across the sector. So that's really what Metis is we are really transforming education through supporting local leaders and local innovation. Our primary offering is this fellowship. We also hold ecosystem building events which involve and connect the broader Kenyan education ecosystem, global education ecosystem. That's taken a bit of a turn given this COVID time, but we also do those events as well. So in order to be a fellow, you have to be Kenyan in the ed sector in one way or the other. You have to have a bold idea that you're working towards that prioritizes excellence and equity in education, and hopefully you are redefining what excellence is. But our fellows do really diverse things. Some people start new schools, some people start new programs, some people write new policies. We just provide you with that wraparound support to make whatever it is you're working on come to life, with the vision that one day all kids in our country will be able to have a truly transformational education. So those are the requirements. You can find the rest of the eligibility in terms of how many hours you'll have to be working on this project, etc., on our website.
Amazing. And a follow-up question by one Lucy Mungai. She asks, what was the inspiration behind Metis?
Inspiration. Okay. I myself am a teacher, and I, really believe that those closest to the problem are closest to the solution. And I think we all agree we've got a lot of challenges right now, a lot, and we're in these unprecedented times. And who better to really redefine our future than those people who are, closest to those challenges. So Metis is actually what the Greeks called local contextualized knowledge. And so in my time, I was working actually as a teacher and principal coach, really just saw that those closest to the problem didn't always have the tools, resources, connections they needed to lead us towards solutions. And so Metis is really a big learning experiment towards that, to ensure that those closest to the problem have everything they need to lead us to solution. Another follow-up question from Doris. Are you looking for people in startups or even from established organizations? Great question. Cliff, do you want to answer that?
Sorry, I missed it out. About
Are we looking for people just in startups or from established organizations as well?
well, we're just looking for mad people, right? I mean, if you have mad, if you have a crazy idea, kind of, and you just want to disrupt the status quo, as someone has said over there, then I think you're the right person. It's not about startups. It's just about someone who wants to jolt the status quo, someone who wants to impact whichever sector of the community. I think you're the right person. Yeah.
Great answer.
Amazing. And if you've seen our banners for cohort 4, we are calling out the COVID disruptors, as Cliff has said, the mad people, the people who are breaking barriers. And
you have to.
yes, you have to. You have to. And another question regarding our cohort 4 applications by Doris Kiogora. She asks, what unique qualities, strengths, experiences, and innovations are you looking for in this cohort?
Good question. Does anyone want to take a step?
I can guide you on this as part of the Metis team. So for this cohort, we're looking specifically for 2 tracks, which is tech ed. Is your work based on innovative technologies in education and life skills and resilience? So if your line of work fits into those 2 tracks, you could be a perfect fit for cohort 4. Adding on what to Rebecca mentioned of the personal qualities you're looking for, we're looking for the people who are pushing barriers, for the people who think outside the box, for the people who are not limited by the circumstances. So, but for cohort 4, those are the 2 main tracks we're looking for in terms of the line of work. Qualities and personalities, traits, all that we've highlighted with Rebecca, and that can be found on our site. Thank you.
Yeah, just to add that to that, we're looking for growth mindset, a history of leadership, innovation, and collaboration as well. Those are 4 pillars we're also looking for more on our website if you want.
Yes, another question in regards to the fellowship. This one is by Zaitun Abdul, all the way from USA. Impressive. What is the cost of attending the Metis Fellowship?
Great question. So the total cost, we're in the process of digitizing and making many things virtual. The total cost for us to run it per person is $300K. We have, so some institutions, if you're backed by a big institution, are able to fit that. We understand that the vast majority of people are not. And so we offer scholarships. So they're need-based, and once you are selected, the process is needs-blind as well. So you can apply for a scholarship all the way up to 260,000. So what you will be responsible over, you and your institution will be responsible for 40K over the course of by December, and we have payment plans and want to be flexible around that. We're continuing also to source additional scholarship funding. We'll keep you all in the loop, particularly because of COVID. But we do not want finances to be a barrier. So reach out if you are also concerned about that.
Amazing. Mostly our work this year has mostly been centered around COVID and its impact, both negative and the few positives. So we have one amazing question here by Kenneth Igadwa from Nairobi. He asks, how are members addressing children psychological trauma by COVID-19? What is Metis doing towards that?
I think you heard from some of our fellows. One of the things we've done, I'll highlight that we've done collectively as a group, has been to create these home learning guides. I actually have one here. So this actually started out as a really messy Google Doc. And then we together, Kakua did these beautiful illustrations, animations for us. And we've created a guide with very experiential, with a schedule here, and mathematical activities, literacy activities, emotional health activities, science activities, physical activities, creative activities that can slot into the schedule to support families to be able to have a learning routine during this time of uncertainty, and times for play, and times for, just sitting and doing a body scan, etc. So we've printed and distributed 15,000 collectively, and then are supporting everyone in the community to really iterate their own programs, whether it's literacy or girls empowerment or job placement programs like Cliff Runs. And honestly, now we're looking for fellows who are wanting to answer that. How do we support learners and families and even educators who are facing psychological trauma? If you have an idea for that, a bold idea around that, apply. We want to support you to make that idea come to life.
If you had something to add on to it.
Yeah, just part of the things that Rebecca has mentioned, or part of the question, was during COVID times, and then you have all these job losses, you have all these people who are, let's say, kids who are hungry and whatever kind of things. So one of the things that as a Metis fellow that I got involved in was fundraising for 10 different organizations that deal with the vulnerable. And it was a very, that's what I was saying, that every market or every village has got a mad person. It was a very, very simple idea. It was called 10 shillings challenge for 10 days for 10 different groups. So all you need to give us was just 10 shillings. And we raised 1.5 million shillings in 10 days for 10 different groups. And that's what we're talking about, is that can you come up with something that is going to solve an issue or a problem, kind of. And out of the 10 groups that we actually featured, some people who were fundraising got attached to some of the groups. and have continued helping them beyond, kind of, right? That to me was actually one of the highlights. And we also got, should I say what, counselors and psychologists who approached us and asked, we don't have that money to give, but we're willing to talk to your people and whatever kind of thing. So we've engaged them, and they've been doing some pro bono work with the guys on the streets, the guys in the slums, kind of the guys in the children's home. So people are actually connecting. And I think that's what Lillian had talked about. Connection, kind of, that's what Metis is all about. It's not about you coming up with these ideas. No, it's about you connecting with other people who will help you where you cannot do much. So that's what we have. I think there's a question from Muturi Njeri on the chat. Maybe you can read it.
Sure thing.
And see it. How does Metis facilitate interaction among fellows across different cohorts? Maybe you can address that.
So we have a couple of ways. One is through the coaching and mentorship. We have each of our alum are usually partnered based on the needs of the new cohort. And so they're paired up. And so some of the impact of that has been, Sheila from cohort 2, who's with the Ministry of Education, has partnered with Maria Omare, who's a cohort 1 fellow. And together they've launched a program to support youth with disabilities and in informal settlements. So we facilitate one-on-one mentorship and partnerships, and then again through events. And so we'll see how this plays out with our COVID reality, but we're looking to have an annual summit as well as other virtual opportunities whenever we open some of them up, not just for the current cohort, but for everyone. Because, if we want to support our kids to engage in continuous learning, we have to know what that feels like as adults. And so all of our pedagogy, reflects the pedagogy we want to see for all kids everywhere. So it's highly creative, experiential, built on trust relationships that enable this. I think there's another question here about funding. Again,
just to add on to the question which was asked.
Yeah, please. Sorry, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? My connection is unstable.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, fine. About Muturi Njeri asking about fellows across the different cohorts. Again, I have to say that COVID really disrupted what we had started. We were planning to have a conference for all the cohorts in April 18th, and then another conference in December to invite, to open it to other people as well. And the purpose of all this was kind of to see how Metis can get into counties and make more impact into schools directly and work with teachers. So all these were plans that were underway, but COVID has actually disrupted everything. So we want the child who is in a primary school in Taita to have a feel of what Metis is all about in a way that is going to be life impacting. So the plans are there. Let's see how, again, it's COVID, then good.
And I think you all are a part of that. Prospective applicants, you are part of that. Previously we've had a couple people from outside Nairobi who were able to commute. But now we're opening it up to everyone. So if you're in Mombasa, if you're in Taita Taveta, if you are in, Isiolo, or anywhere, apply because the bulk of this is going to be virtual, and we're going to be iterating and improving this and want this to be national. So encourage other people, not just from Nairobi to.
Yeah, we have a question that has been posed 2, if not 3 times, really persistently by Wangoi Wakamonji. She asks, Who funds Metis?
We are funded by a couple of small family foundations, as well as by fellowship fees as well. So we are mixed between contributions locally and internationally. And we're really a lean team currently of 4, and a whole network of the Metis Council and alum who also give very generously of their time and expertise to me.
Okay, she continues to add, how many people are in each cohort and how are relationships supported beyond Metis? This is a common question, that especially in regards to the alum network, and how does Metis support the fellows even after the 6 months are done?
Does anyone want to speak to the ongoing support?
We need, should I say, it's been mentioned many times by Lillian, even by Kia. The support is actually the community. The community is so tight that the fellowship, we visit each other, and we have groups that have similar ideas, and we form all these bonds and partnership. And then after that, it's up to us now to kind of make sure that, I think it'll be the other way around. You know, kind of Metis is a kind that it's not supposed to offer support. I think you're the one who's supposed to come up with all these mad ideas, brilliant ideas of how Metis is going to support other people. So it has to come from internally from us. So we had purposed that everyone has to visit everyone within the cohort 3, you know, and even the ones who did not manage to visit each other, then the conference was supposed to be as a result of that. So the support continues. The support that the community gives you, that's what Metis is actually ingrained in you during those 5-6 months. Because once cohort 3 was done, Rebecca was with cohort 4, so cohort 2. Once cohort 2 was done, Rebecca was busy with cohort 3. So it's up to the members of cohort 2, right, to sort themselves out and actually prove that they are actually bold enough to carry the name of Metis. And that's what we did by organizing those conferences. So we are the ones who are supporting Metis because we are Metis now alumni, right? We're the ones supporting Metis and saying, this is what Metis is all about. Otherwise, then the 5 months or the 6 months are just wasted, you know, kind of. If you don't get out there and you cannot support Metis from outside, then I think they're not doing anything. My take.
Maybe we have time for 2 or 3 more questions come up.
Yes, we have time for about 2 questions. We should not take more than 5. Then you can give the stage to.
Great. Can you present us 1 or 2 or 3 more questions?
Yeah. So there's a good question here, which needs to be addressed. We have Winnie Rose Ohome who asks, is it possible for previously declined applicants to be reconsidered for upcoming fellowship?
Oh, I'll give this to Lillian.
Come again, please.
Yeah, we have a question here, which you'd be in the best position to answer. Is it possible for previously declined applicants to be reconsidered for the upcoming fellowship?
Oh, yes, I'm a living example. I applied for cohort 1, declined, and then cohort 2 got it, and I'm here.
Amazing.
It's very possible.
And after all this is said and done, after all the 5-6 months are done, we have someone who asks, she's called Mary Kinyanjui. She asks, do you get certificates after the training?
Yes. You will get a certificate of achievement. We actually know of several fellows who cite that, and actually employers that I know who have come back and said, you know, we really saw the mindsets of innovation and of collaboration, that this person grew and they got a promotion or they were accepted in a new job. So I think you gain far more than the certificate, but you will get a certificate. You can put it on your LinkedIn profile. Yes, the answer is yes.
Apart from the certificate, we also do a graduation ceremony that is usually very colorful, and we stand, you bring your family members, you bring your colleagues, and it's usually very ceremonious, and you celebrate what you've been working for, and this makes also your community know what you're doing. So certificate and a graduation ceremony.
I know my cohort 3 fellows are here are like, wait, we're not allowed to gather in COVID. When's our graduation going to be? So we hope in December actually to have a big joint one between the 17 fellows, successful fellows from cohort 3 and cohort 4.
All right. Our last
All
question.
safety measures observed.
Last question from one Jared Mosota all the way from Meru. Amazing. He asks, does Metis cover those who of us have, is Metis covering those who of us who have a great impact in co-curricular activities?
Yes, we believe learning happens beyond the four walls of a classroom. So particularly now during COVID, we know this has to happen. So yes, extracurricular, absolutely. And again, all of our fellows represent innovations from early childhood all the way through the skills to employment space. So we say from cradle to career. And again, each cohort has a different focus. Previous foci have included teacher training, have included skills for entrepreneurship. Again, for this cohort, it will be technology or resilience and life skills building. And that, I think there's a lot of space there for people innovating in the extracurricular space.
Thank you. At this juncture, I've rounded up the frequently answered questions from your emails. Thank you. So I present the floor to the public, to the attendees. Sorry. Shoot your questions. You can ask in the chat. Feel free to unmute your microphone. We're here to listen to you. And ask any questions that you feel have not been clarified or any comments or sentiments. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Catherine, and my question is the learning online or is it a classroom? Do you go to school?
Great question. Hi, Catherine. The learning for this cohort is going to be a mix of in-person and virtual. The majority will be virtual. We are still hoping to have a retreat, planning on it, between August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. It will be in a beautiful, serene place outside of Nairobi. Someone else has asked how large the cohorts will be. Generally speaking, there are 15 to 20 people. They are selected by the Metis Council. I do not select everyone. Our alum and our council, who are our local leaders, select the fellows. This time they are mandated in choosing a smaller cohort so that we can also really iterate and learn together, and that it can be small so that we're able to gather. So there's that one in-person retreat, and then you will have videos and assignments to watch, read, and do. Okay, and so that bit will be asynchronous. Okay, you do it on your own time, and we'll have a portal. You'll view your videos, you'll read your assignments, you'll interact with others in the chat feature, and then once a month we will get on a Zoom call for our community of learning, and this will be on a Friday. Will be 3 hours long. You'll get the dates in advance, so you block them into your calendar, and that will be time to. We'll have activities that will require us being together apart. So again, the majority will be virtual. a mix of asynchronous and synchronous, with a retreat at the beginning, and hopefully a large gathering at the end in December 12th.
Nice. Thank you for your question, Catherine. I hope it was answered perfectly.
Hello.
Yeah, it's okay.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Lillian.
Hi.
My name is Lillian Olo. Mine is just to thank the Metis team for stepping up and coming up with such a brilliant idea to change the education direction of this country. I'm looking forward to more and more interactions, God willing. I'm really happy to be here this evening. Thank you so much.
Great.
Hi, teammates. My name is Felix Malombe. I did apply last time, and I think the space is now mine. I'm just going to be like Lillian, because that time it was something to do with teacher training and something else. I can't remember very well. Someone has mentioned a few minutes ago. Clifford is my friend. There is somewhere we meet, and so I normally follow him, and so that's how I found about Metis. Also, another friend of mine who does something called out of school something. I don't know, I can't remember his name. We met last year, and he encouraged me to apply, and so this time I'm going to look forward to doing the same. I'm a co-founder of STEAM Labs Africa, an organization that focuses on disrupting education in technology and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to this. Thank you very much for all the answers that you've answered, the questions that you've answered to us. Very informative. I look forward to application before 20th. Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to your application.
And he's posed a very good point. Application close on 20th of July. 20th, that's about 6 days from now. So anyone who's applying, send in those applications now. It's just 6 days till applications close.
Yeah.
Looking forward to all of them.
Do it. And if you get stuck, send our team an email.
Yes.
Look, I encourage you to look at, because we do have you take a stab at your path to Metis, which is your bio. And we really believe that storytelling is so important to growing your impact. So if you need help or get stuck on that, we really encourage you to look at the bios of the people who have come before you.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dennis Omolo. I'm a teacher of English, and I attended, I think there was a graduation last year. I wanted to surprise Cliff. Yeah, and I was very impressed by what I saw there. So I have a bold idea whose time I think has come, and I'm going to be applying for this cohort. So thanks for the platform, and I look forward to seeing everyone.
That's great. We're looking forward.
Go, Dennis.
Hi, Cliff. Nice seeing you.
Yes, the floor is for anyone for the taking. Questions, sentiments, doubts. We're taking all of them. Head on. We're here for you.
And I would just say, as people think, and as we think about wrapping up the night, please just drop in the chat, what your dream for our education in this country is, particularly given our COVID reality. Would love to hear what to use Cliff's language, what your mad idea is, and what you're hoping, particularly for the next 6 months as we consider how to support learning without schools. I'll read some of those responses. All right. Last chance to share your question. Otherwise, we'll let you all go eat. and have a good night. Going once, going twice.
Sound like someone at an auction going once.
I know. Sold. We're all sold on Metis. Okay. Well, thank you again for being here. Thank you for your questions. I hope you have more clarity. Please feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, email for any further support. We are happy to answer any of your questions. The application should take you no more than 45 minutes. So do it. You've got nothing to lose. We hope to welcome you into our community, either as a fellow or at our events. Thank you so much and have a really good night. And if you want to share your vision for education in the chat, we will be really excited. Any final words from fellows?
Yes, a quick vote of thanks from everyone would be amazing.
Yeah, from me, thank you everyone for making it. And you know, it's an evening where everyone wants to be with their family. But yeah, we, as I usually say, we keep on learning. And yeah, welcome to the Metis family, because once a Metis, always a Metis. Thank you. Good night.
Just want to thank each and every person for being here. And I want to say this is already a journey. By just spending your 1 hour listening and gaining more, knowing more about Metis, I think that's already a beginning of a bold idea. So karibu sana, and you'll not regret. Please apply, 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 apply.
Great. The market needs more mad people, so welcome aboard. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. On that note, good night. Cheers to your madness. Cheers to making a new system where everyone can learn. It's going to take a whole lot of madness.
Yes.
Have a good
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.